in the bubble, and the FT said yesterday that it's a mania, but I don't think so because if investors move like 1, 2, or even 3% to gold, that's going to make a huge difference. It's going to drive the price so much higher. So, yeah, is that the way you see it too?
Well, yes, I do not think that gold is in a bubble, but I do think that this is where it comes into understanding what the true fundamental value of gold is, and that is for its most important function, which is to hold your assets even over time. And so I can tell you for an absolute fact, based upon the level of debt that exists, or at the last time that I was able to pull that data, so 313 trillion, forget about the derivatives on top of it, and the amount of physical gold, because it's indestructible, that exists, the true fundamental value of an ounce of gold is somewhere in the vicinity of 40 grand. We have minted lots and lots of millionaires in this country, but that's because of the rise in properties, prices, the inflation in property prices and stock prices and even crypto prices, but these people are cash poor. So it's just through inflation that it makes you look rich, but you really are not. You know, trillion-dollar companies, is that because they're really worth trillions of dollars, or that the dollar's worth that much less? That's really what it is.
Yeah, I think a good way to look at things is to price stuff in gold. And if you look at price of the stock market, the Dow and S&P since 1999, 2000, they've been going down. So it's like an illusion of wealth. And I think
Exactly.
this is what the rising gold and silver price is going to expose, in my opinion. I don't know what you think about that.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is, and I think that you're seeing the gold and silver price, the spot market, that contract price go up because more and more people are beginning of this conversation. And look at Morgan Stanley coming out and saying a 20% allocation to gold and silver. That is,
Yeah,
that kind of turns their 60-40
yeah.
stocks and bonds on its head.
Yeah, and yeah, that was 3 weeks ago, or maybe a little longer ago, and it's amazing how the rise in gold and silver has coincided with that. And I expect other investment banks to come out with the same weighting. Jamie Dimon, as we said earlier, just said that gold could easily go to 5 or even 10. And I think Nassim Taleb, he said that gold now has become de facto the reserve currency. Ray Dalio is talking about gold. Everyone is joining jumping on board, it seems.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you noticed this or not because it was kind of quiet, but gold has actually become the second highest asset in central bank reserve accounts, overcoming the euro. So yeah, gold is definitely the de facto reserve asset. The only assets that's bigger than that would be dollars at 46%. But in 1971, those reserves were 79th-ish or something like that. We will see that there's more gold going in, or more wealth going into gold than even into treasury bonds. I mean, which has had an
Yeah,
exodus
yeah.
since 2013. So it's not surprising. But that the holding of treasuries have been going down while the holding of gold has been going up.
Yeah, and Jamie Dimon also said that it's not that irrational anymore to have gold in your portfolio.
No,
And
it's
you know that the amount of investment assets in the US dedicated to gold is something like 1%, maybe even less.
Mhm.
So, and I know a lot of people are saying gold is in the bubble, and the FT said yesterday that it's a mania, but I don't think so because if investors move like 1, 2, or even 3% to gold, that's going to make a huge difference. It's going to drive the price so much higher. So, yeah, is that the way you see it too?
Well, yes, I do not think that gold is in a bubble, but I do think that this is where it comes into understanding what the true fundamental value of gold is, and that is for its most important function, which is to hold your assets even over time. And so I can tell you for an absolute fact, based upon the level of debt that exists, or at the last time that I was able to pull that data, so 313 trillion, forget about the derivatives on top of it, and the amount of physical gold, because it's indestructible, that exists, the true fundamental value of an ounce of gold is somewhere in the vicinity as well. Is it, is it overbought? Yes, technically, it's more than 10% away from that 200-day moving average. So we could see a little bit of a pullback, giving that average a chance to catch up. But is it in a bubble? Heck no, it's not. It's severely undervalued. On the flip side, what about those assets that are valued in dollars or in pounds or in any fiat money? Well, the fundamental value of these currencies is zero, a big fat zero. So anything that is only valued in dollars or pounds or euros, well, here's a $10 trillion Zimbabwe note. I can't buy a thing with it, but I'm a trillionaire. So yeah, no, gold and silver are severely undervalued. Short term, they could be in a bit of a price bubble because I think the central bank is losing control. I mean, up to this point, the banks have been suppressing the price by just buying a whole bunch of contracts and creating a whole bunch of gold and silver. That's creating a conundrum for the central bankers.
Yeah.
And I heard that Powell, in fact, we have the voice clip of it if you want me to send it to you. So you could, he didn't know what to say. He didn't
Yeah,
know what to
I
say.
guess conundrum, that would be a term Greenspan would have used.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So,
Unintended consequences.
yeah,
We're intended
irrational exuberance.
yeah.
Debasement trade. It was triggered by Putin and China. But you recently, I saw just a few days ago, you spoke about the reset. And I speak quite a bit about the reset, and I think we've been resetting over time because the dollar is falling versus gold. But you think they could have a really sharp reset, like overnight, like a big reset? Could you explain that to us?
Well, number